Okay, look at that, guys. Palantir is ripping. We had a 6% green day today, and we've talked about in the last couple of videos in regards to Palantir how there are two narratives here, right? We have the one narrative, the software multiple compression, and Palantir already had a pretty high multiple heading into the year. So you have that narrative dragging it down, but now you have the Middle East tensions, right? The full on battle going on over in the Middle East right now. That's another narrative that could help Palantir in the short term, as it is AI software that is used for defense, part of what they do, right? So you have this narrative, you have this narrative, and it looks like, well, this narrative here won with the tensions in the Middle East, right? We're seeing everything going on, the conflict over there. With that, Palantir had a 6% green day, right? And I think earlier in the day, it might have been up even more, maybe 6-7% in that ballpark. So I want to break down the charts, go over what I'm looking at here, what I'm doing. Am I buying more, selling? Do I think, we bottomed, right? So let me know what you guys think in the comments later on as the video progresses. And of course, hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe. I think 50% of you guys watch the content, but you're not subscribed. That needs to change. Make sure to subscribe. Hit that follow button, the subscribe button, whatever you want to call it. So look, Palantir did take out this resistance, and honestly this one as well. Let me pull up the 20-day chart and show you guys. So we had this little triangle kind of in formation heading into today, and we had a clear resistance here at about 140 from the 18th of February, and another one here at about $145 from, it looks like here, the middle of February, early mid-February. We hit about 145. So you guys can see essentially today, Palantir filled the gap from 140 up to 145. We closed above 145, and you could argue it's getting ready for the next move, which is up to, let's say, 160, 167. These are gaps that could fill in the short term, right? But we have to wait for the break on at least, I would say, the 4-hour time frame, This needs to break, guys. Yeah, we could fill the gap to 160, 167, but the reality is software stocks are still struggling. Yeah, it could go higher based on what's going on in the Middle East, but that might fizzle out pretty soon here. So do we have enough juice? It's already overbought. It's at a 70 RSI. Do we have enough juice for it to get to 160 now? I don't think so. Yet, at least. So I think in the short term, what's going to happen here, Palantir is going to chop around. Okay, maybe it goes up a little more, but I think it's going to chop around 145, maybe 150, or really 140 to 145, I would say, because again, it's a bit overbought already. After one or two big days here on the RSI. We're pretty hot on the RSI, guys. 1 we're at. So I think there's a higher chance that we pull back a bit, chop around 140, 145, and then we might, be able to make that move to 160. Baby steps, right? We got to take it slow, in other words. So at this point, great green day, but we need to see it take out this 180 moving average right here. And I just think we need a pullback and maybe some consolidation before that happens. But, time will tell. At this point, I'm waiting for 150 at least, so I'll put my alert there. If that does break, maybe we just go straight to 160 at that point. So we're going to keep an eye on it. And again, I think we might chop around in this gap right here. And then we'll take 145 out potentially, then make that move up higher. But yeah, it's gaining momentum for obvious reasons. But don't forget about the other narrative, right? Like I said, there are two narratives. Middle East, right? What's going on there? That's bringing up the stock. But of course, the multiple compression and software stocks have been getting hit. Palantir has got, dragged into that. That could come back to haunt the stock in the short term, right? I don't think those stocks are necessarily out of the gutter yet, out of the hole yet, or I don't think the pain's done quite yet, in the short term, that is. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's a quick rundown. It's quite the relief rally here, but for me, I am not touching it here. I'm not buying into it. I think it could be a sucker's rally, a bull trap, quite frankly. So I'm being careful. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. So let's break down quickly now some other stocks. And by the way, if you want to see what I'm doing in real time, guys, see how I run my portfolio, how I sell options, how I run different option strategies, how I buy stocks, trades, investments, that's all on Patreon. There's also a private Discord through the Patreon if you guys want to check it out. That's linked down below. Shameless plug. So let's see what stocks ended up getting hit today. We covered Palantir, which again, 6% green day. That's beautiful. Some stocks, or a lot of stocks, didn't have green days. One of my bigger holdings, Alphabet, ticker GOOG, this went down 1.6% today. It's starting to not look so great on the charts here, guys. Google started to see a rebound, right, from 300 up to about 317, but boom, we got rejected at the 180 SMA, and it's still getting hit. Now we're back to 306, $5 red day, and I'm not dumping out of Google. I'm not, throwing in the towel, but the chart is starting to break down a little bit here, and a lot of that obviously has to do with overall market conditions, the shift away from tech. Obviously, it's still a great company. I'm still holding it. I haven't sold a share. I think out of all big tech, long term, Google is one of the better plays, in my opinion. And we're not going to debate all the big tech names in this video, but Google, it had a 1.6% red day. It looks like here, what else went down? Amazon, which I bought more today, 0.75% down on the day. I think Amazon has a great value, or is a great value here long term, and people underestimate just how efficient this company is going to be when it comes to, automation, robotics. Guys, their profits are going to absolutely explode. Their cash flows. People are freaking out about their overspending on CapEx, which you could argue, yeah, Amazon's spending too much, maybe, but I don't think so. People are arguing that, obviously, and the stock is getting punished for that, but I just don't think that's the case. I think people are underestimating just how much they're going to actually utilize artificial intelligence, and later on, into 2028, 2030, we're going to be seeing automation, robotics. We're already seeing it, and this is going to it's going to make Amazon insanely efficient. Profits are going to explode, and what does Wall Street like? What do stocks like? Increasing profits, more money coming in, revenues are going to go up too, obviously, like they have been. And Amazon's just one of those companies that has underperformed over the last 5 years. I mean, it has, but I think it's going to do very well in this AI, automation, robotics era that we're inevitably in and we're heading deeper into, right? That's the world we're heading into. Amazon's going to be a major, major company. It already is, obviously, but they're going to benefit big time when it comes to physical AI. And we're already seeing it, but it's going to explode, grow exponentially, So I'm excited about Amazon, one of my bigger holdings. Actually, it might be my biggest stock now, which I've been buying this stock since 2022 or 3, and I've really been adding deeper into it the last couple of months here, and really all of 2025 I was buying. And with this drop, man, I've just been going nuts. Because I think we're ultimately going a lot higher long term, and I'm convinced it's going to be one of the companies that benefits the most from, again, automation, robotics, physical AI, all that stuff, right? It's going to be one of the most efficient companies. So what do you guys think about that? Let me see what else. I don't want to ramble too much here. It's like I'm pitching Amazon. I'm just super excited about it. I think it's a great. Everyone's throwing tech down the toilet right now, but I think there are selective opportunities, and I think Amazon is one of those. So I'm just, fired up about it, and I have been for a while. Tesla as well, but they're, I think, a little later down the road with their humanoid robot. I think I know Elon always over promises the delivery dates, right? And then it's always pushed back, but he does a great job of building a narrative, building the story, and I think Tesla stock's going to do well this year and longer term, right? I think as long as Elon's running the ship, once Elon jumps ship, I would be out of Tesla. That's just me, though. But as long as he's there, this company, this stock is going to do well, in my opinion. Looks like XLE on the energy side of things, which is this surprising? No. But XLE went up 2% today, closed at 57. We hit $60, I think, in the overnight. That is unreal. And the tanker stocks. Let me pull up Nordic American Tankers. I'm actually curious where this closed. $5.96. So this got very hyped up. Be careful here, guys. We hit $7 in the pre-market, and it got down to about $6. So this one, you got to be careful. I remember a couple years ago, I got caught in a tanker stock when we had a similar situation. A bunch of oil tankers. I forget where this was, what year this was. This was years ago. But similar situation where a lot of these tankers were just piled up, just sitting day after day after day. And these stocks were going nuts. And I got caught in one, caught in the hype. I was getting greedy, and then boom, it collapsed. So you got to be careful. But with what we're seeing right now in the Strait of Hormuz, with it being shut down, and I know I'm mispronouncing that, but with what we're seeing there, these ships are sitting, they're taking alternative routes. They can jack up the prices as oil demand's going up because there's less tankers available. They could just charge whatever they want, so it's getting nuts. It's getting nuts out there, guys. So these are ones to watch. NAT is one of them. I think this might be the one that I got caught in, or one of the equivalents. I forget which one it was, but this was years ago. Yeah, it might have been here. No, that's '04. Yeah, no, not that long ago. Geez, guys. It might have been here, actually, in 2020. Yeah, actually it was. This is the spike. Nordic American Tankers went up in 2020 to about $9 a share, $10 a share, and then it ultimately collapsed all the way down to about $2-3. So be careful. You could get caught in one of these, and if you don't manage your risk correctly, which is kind of what I did, I didn't manage my risk correctly here. I should have cut out way, a lot sooner than what I did, but if you don't manage it right, you're going to get caught. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button. Do all that. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video.